Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about problem number 4 with processed food from Robert Lustig's brilliant book, Metabolical. Please read that book. Insulin resistance. The problem of fast food is it causes insulin resistance. We all measure blood glucose, but that's not the right thing to measure. When we're getting in trouble, we actually should be measuring insulin, high insulin. And what we want is an insulin level below 7. Well, you can measure your insulin level. It's actually, your doctor can get it. It's just they oftentimes don't do it. But what you see in insulin resistance, a couple things all put together. But central to that is a bigger tummy and a fatty liver and high C-reactive protein. You can also measure levels like endotoxin, stuff like that. But you can measure your tummy if your waist size is over 39 inches for a man and 34 for a woman. That's probably too big. But many labs will tell you that their normal level of insulin ranges between 2.5 and 25. What's interesting is I've been around long enough that I remember insulin levels normal being up to 15. And now it's 25. What's happened is our fat cells have gotten bigger. And we know that we can make insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome in just a week if we put you on a diet of lots of sugar. We know fructose is a particular cardinal problem. Fructose has no enzymes to limit how fast it can get in. It floods into your liver, sucks up all the ATP, and basically starves the liver cell. And the liver cell can't adjust to that. And the only thing it can do is make fat. It's a way of surviving and getting rid of all that energy. And those fat globules, it can't export them. It doesn't have time to do that. So it makes fatty globules in the liver. And there's things like multiple receptors, like inhibitory proteins, like PC1, for example. And if you do a deep dive, you can go Google that and look it up. But I think it may actually be simpler than that. If you imagine, how well would you function if you had a great big globule of fat in the middle of your bedroom? You couldn't get around it. The liver cell gets filled with globules of fat. And your body acts as though the bigger the fat cell gets, the more insulin it takes to resist it and fix it. So the problem, what you see is people get fatter, their insulin level gets higher. And higher and higher and higher. And your body acts as though it only was given 1 million units of insulin to spend. If you're a skinny person and you have little tiny fat cells, you only need 2 units of insulin to spend. You can live for a very long time. But as your fat cells get bigger and you're up to 45 units a day, you're going to eventually run out of insulin. And that's what you see. Folks get to be about 55, 60 years old, and bit by bit, their insulin levels climbing, and they need 45 units and they can only make 40. So their blood sugar starts to climb. And then they can only make 38 and their blood sugar climbs, and then they start to fail, and rapidly they've used up the last bit of their insulin. And they become diabetic. Then they can be put on insulin. But the real problem was they were insulin resistant, which you can fix earlier if you get people on a fast mimicking diet that has lots of vegetables, no sugar, no white flour, no fast food, and no sugared drinks of any kind. What will work for me? I've done that. I've lost 60 pounds over the last 10 years. I've kept it off ever since then. My insulin level is about 7 or 8. When I do my fast mimicking diet, I can get it down to 2. That's what you should be doing too. So problem number 4 of metabolic problem of processed food is insulin resistance. And don't let anybody tell you that anything over 7 is good for you. 2 is wonderful. That's below the normal average. Consider yourself having 5 stars if you have a 2. Dr. John Whitcomb, News and Nutrition.